Hey folks, today is Friday, July 20th, 2018. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and we gotta talk about video game stuff that has been going on this week. It's been quite a week. The first thing I want to talk about is something that we don't bring up on this channel a lot, but it's Star Citizen. Yes, remember that Kickstarter? Well, the newest thing is a court case where a backer of the game seemingly lost a court case after suing to get his money back. This dude was asking for $4,500 in court back after he pledged in 2013 to this game. He had expected it to come out by at least 2016, and now after many years later, he wants his money back. Whether you think it's right or wrong, the way Kickstarter works and the way the terms of service worked and the agreements worked, the guy lost the court case. Then after coming back with a settlement of going for $3,800, he lost that again. Not only that, but what's more interesting, unfortunately for this dude, he is disabled, and turns out after updates and how this game actually plays, he's not actually able to play it. So that's another reason why he wanted his money back. People have been bagging on Star Citizen for years. Personally, I have no horse in the race. I'm looking forward to seeing it as a cohesive whole once it is done, if it's ever done. But I guess the lesson here really is be careful who you give money to on the internet, especially when it's that much money. There have been people that have given more money than this guy. That's just me. I try and treat the internet like the street. I don't give money to strangers that often. But in some big people business news, whether you love the game or you hate the game, Fortnite has now crossed over $1 billion in revenue from in-game purchases. That's an insane amount of money. Even for video games, big accomplished video games, that is a lot of money, and I think that also shows, last week, we didn't talk about it, but Epic did announce that they were changing the profit model to developers who use Unreal Engine 4, and essentially they're giving developers a larger cut, people who use their engines. So they are putting money back into game development, which is cool. But on the flip side, the way you look at it, if you want in-game purchases and stuff like that to go away, that might not be the case, at least not for games like Fortnite, because people are pumping $1 billion into the damn thing.
Bought a skin today.
Nah, you bought it, you did? You're part of the problem. It's not.
Is it a problem if I want to do it?
I think you have a problem.
Oh,
that's what the problem is. Even if you're not happy with the ramifications or where the money is going, I do think that more money in video games is good. More game development is good. But we're just going to have to wait and see where that money takes Epic as a company. I am curious to see. On the flip side, Ubisoft also announced some first quarter earnings, reaching record highs thanks to what they have said is games as a service, also bolstering all their money. Not only that, but what I thought was more interesting was that they said that their sales of PC games has surpassed their sales of Xbox One games. So it looks like PC is on the up and up. Not like it was on the down low or anything, but still, nice to read. And briefly, before we move on, this episode is brought to you by Swagbucks, a simple and easy way to earn extra cash and gift cards by doing a variety of things like taking surveys, shopping online, or watching short videos. Rewards you earn can be put towards cool stuff like Steam gift cards. It's pretty easy to sign up. Click the link in our description box and get a $5 sign-up bonus to start earning your way towards cool stuff. Big ups to Swagbucks for sponsoring this episode for us. But back to the dirt, something small I wanted to point out that was real cute. Recently, during a social stream, 343, the guys behind Halo Infinite, went on record answering some fan questions, and this is a really interesting quote. 343's lead writer Jeff Easterling said when someone asked about a Battle Royale mode, "I'll tell you right now, the only BR we're really interested in is Battle Rifle." Was that the developer's way of trash-talking Battle Royale modes? I don't know. Maybe he's just expressing kind of fatigue over the mode, like so many other players are. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. And then he even went on to say, calm yourself, and I appreciate that. So it looks like no Battle Royale mode in Halo Infinite confirmed. I can't believe this is something people are getting excited about, but hey. But moving on to some cool stuff going on the internet. The first thing we linked in the description, of course, is the Uncharted fan film starring Nathan Fillion. It's like 15 minutes long. We talked about it earlier in the week. We've talked about it to death. But it's pretty awesome, and I want more. I think video game stuff is best when it's shorts like this. Everything I talk about is linked in the description below, as well as this No Man's Sky Next update, which Hello Games has teased. They've been underground working on this for a while. It looks like the game everyone was really hoping it to be back in the day. I'm willing to give it another shot since I already gave my money once, and this update is free, but that's just me. As we're recording this episode, San Diego Comic-Con is going on right now. New season of Clone Wars. Really excited about that. But I digress. They did show off a new story trailer for the Spider-Man PS4 game, and surprise, it looks pretty damn awesome. At this point, I can't wait. I know it's the summer, but I seriously don't need to see any more of this game. I'm sold. Not only that, what I linked in the description is a really interesting read with one of the heads behind the Dead Space game going on record talking about ideas that they did have for Dead Space 4. And it sounds really interesting. One of the concepts that was explored slightly in Dead Space 3, but was supposed to be a full concept in Dead Space 4, was the act of humanity being totally desperate, and you're floating around in space in your little ship, and you're essentially scavenging other ships that are infected just to kind of survive and move through space. And I think that sounds really cool. The whole read is really interesting. Like I said, I linked it in the description below if you want to check it out. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Saudi Arabia banned like 42 games. There have been news reports that teenagers and young kids have been doing this prank that goes around over the internet where kids kind of inflict self-harm. It's like a dare thing. And 2 kids died from it, so Saudi Arabian government decided to ban video games. There's not really much of a connection between this prank dare game and video games, but I guess it to them is a preventative measure in general. Interestingly enough, though, a lot of the games on the list that they banned are games that are geared more towards adults anyway. They banned stuff like Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, and of course, isn't it obvious, Grand Theft Auto 5, of course. I'm curious to see where this goes. I don't know what's going to change. I don't know if they're going to keep banning more games, but we look at our analytics, and I hear from you guys a lot on Twitter and in the comments and stuff. Those of you who do live in Saudi Arabia, I'm curious to see what you guys think. But in a story, are you alright?
Sorry.
Are you alright? What are you playing? Hollow Knight? It's difficult, right? Yeah. But in some other news, and the story that has been absolutely fascinating me, last week we talked about one of the biggest 2018 flops. That was the Culling 2 on certain platforms not having a player base because it undersold, reviewed not very well, and even from fans just not receiving it well. It wasn't what they wanted. The developer has come out and said they are pulling the plug on the Culling 2 completely already, just like a week after the game has launched. They released a developer blog and came out completely candid and said they listened to player feedback and they made some mistakes. And they want to change that, and they want to make good on it. Not only that, they are working with Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation to issue full refunds to everyone that bought it and take the game off the marketplaces. That is massive. Even if not a lot of people bought it, that's still a really big and impressive undertaking. And with that, they have announced that they are bringing back the original The Culling game, the game that people really wanted in the first place to just get expanded upon. The service for that had shut down in December. They're going to bring it back and kind of rework it as a free-to-play game. And judging from the response so far, it seems like most players and that fan base is very satisfied with this decision. Good on the developers to listen to feedback and genuinely change something. I'm like, yeah, they're probably also just following the sales figures and the response. So I don't really think it was them getting bullied into making a change because honestly, genuinely, no one really seemed to play it or like it. Hopefully now everyone is satisfied and it's a happy ending for everyone. Well, maybe not for the developers because they did lose out on some money, but we'll see where this goes. And another thing, in case you missed it, this is pretty huge. WoW, or World of Warcraft, is now completely subscription-based. You don't have to buy a base game or a battle chest or anything like that. You now just sign up, pay that subscription, and you get access to all of WoW, save for the new upcoming Battle of Azeroth expansion. So now is the time. If you haven't gotten your hands on World of Warcraft in any state at all, it's still a good time. The game is better than ever, some would say. And there's so much to play through that you would just get for like a subscription. That's not me being a salesman, I just think that's pretty interesting. But speaking of interesting, we gotta do that console giveaway we do every week. You know how it goes by now. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You sign up and you enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your email, your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because Tom's going to be reaching out to you to figure out how we can get you your free stuff. But with all that aside, I want to talk to you guys about everything going on this week. How do you feel about what Dead Space 4 could have been? Also, did you actually try the Culling 2? How do you feel? And are you from Saudi Arabia? Was one of your favorite video games banned? Let's talk. Also, I mean, some of you out there hate Battle Royale, but if you are a fan of Battle Royale, how do you think Halo could give a good spin on it? Let's get a little creative in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys as much as possible. But of course, if you got anything else for me, be sure to hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino. And if you want even more, consider checking out my podcast that I do with my best pal. That's Because Video Games on all the major podcast services. You search it, Because Video Games, one word, and it's just two friends talking. So let me know what you think. But as always, I always have to say it because I really mean it. Thank you guys for coming around and listening to us talk about video game stuff every Friday and every Tuesday live on Twitch. But that's really it. So if you enjoyed this video, clicking the like button does help us out. We do appreciate that. And if you are new, you should consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day anyway. But as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.
You ever get one of these? Where you're just like bleeding on the inside of your, like under your
Yeah,
skin?
oh yeah, all the time.